Well, hey everybody, this is Buddy. I didn't ride for 6 days, so I rested my body and I needed it. But I started back today. Today is July the 1st. So I'm going to take my time for a few days and then slowly increase it and just see how the week turns out. But I wanted to just let you know that was the reason I hadn't made any videos for a while, is because I done got in the habit of making videos when I'm riding the bike like I'm doing right now. One thing that I want to say is I have been shadow banned on Facebook for so long that none of my friends from a few years ago can even see me. They can't see what I post. They can't comment, or they can't find me unless they purposely search my name. So, I mean, it's not upsetting to me. It's just that it is when I find a really good video like I did the other day, the one about Q. And if you don't know who Q is, you can look it up, and you'll see that there's a phenomenon going around about the dark state, deep state, the ultra elite Illuminati type globalists that have been in control of the mass media for a long time. They've literally, I don't have to go explaining who they are and why they're doing the things they do, because we're all coming to understand that one of the things about when you wake up to peace, if you're like me, and a lot of people are not like me, but I'll tell you about the ones that are like me. I stayed in a state of peace, and my mind was so still, and I literally stayed that way for a couple of years in a type of bliss. Some people call it samadhi, but there's different Sanskrit words for what I was experiencing. And it got to the point that people were saying I was delusional and had delusions of grandeur, and that I wasn't seeing the evil that was already in the world before I woke up, or even that it was increasing. So I said, show me what true evil is.
Have you ever wondered why we go to war? Or why you never seem to be able to get out of debt? Why there is poverty, division, and crime? What if I told you there was a reason for it all? What if I told you it was done on purpose? What if I told you that those who were corrupting the world, poisoning our food, and igniting conflict were themselves about to be permanently eradicated from the earth? You might think that an idealistic fantasy. Well, let me tell you a story.
And then I started realizing that the true evil that I was asking to see is hidden in plain sight. And I started finding all of this information about them. It was in The Secret, the Abraham Hicks version. It talked about it a way more deeper level and a context than The Secret that was watered down. I say it's watered down, it's my opinion, but it is true, it was watered down.
We acknowledge there are criminals, of course. They rob your house, they steal your phone. They can murder you too if they think they can get away with it. We have all experienced criminals in one way or another. Criminals, as we know, are those who choose personal gain over the rights of others and have no regard for the law. But here is where you need to expand your thinking. Criminals can also succeed in business and politics, and can be elected as our leaders. If a criminal became the president, imagine what they could achieve. They could use the full weight of their executive power to commit much larger crimes, and ensure they and their friends were enriched to the fullest extent possible. A criminal president could create alliances with other criminal presidents and then collaborate on more global criminal activities. Anything goes. Drug running, human trafficking, whatever makes the big bucks.
And so it became very obvious to me that this country had been taken over, and it was a coup d'etat. 99% of the people don't even know it happened, but it did. And without going into any detail exactly how it happened, because I don't know, I just know the speculation about it. But a lot of it started when Kennedy was assassinated, but it had already been in place for a long time, even way before that. It had, yeah, it's a history. If you haven't asked those questions, you'll find it when you ask.
So where are all the good guys? Good people just want to get married, have kids, make a living, and enjoy their liberty. Well, there were good guys. Many. One became the President of the United States in January 1961. He knew about these criminals and wanted them gone. He knew their intentions for us all, and he wanted to fight them. Sadly, he had no idea how powerful they had become. Reagan also had good intentions for the American people. He knew this criminal mafia controlled almost everything by the stage, including the powerful rogue intelligence agencies. His economic policies were promising, but the criminals needed a weak America to hold on to their power. Reagan was shown with a bullet that a growing U.S. economy and prosperous citizens were not what the criminals wanted. It was looking pretty grim for good people. Every time someone wanted to stand up and do the right thing, they got stopped. Were we ever to be freed?
But my damn arm trying to hold that thing, so I said, shit, I put it on there so I could back off a little bit and shake my arm out. All right. What I want to say is that video I put up about Q is really good. So I can't seem to figure out a way to spread it amongst my friends because of the shadow ban techniques that are being used on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of the social medias. So if you really resonate with Q, I'll put the description of that video in the box. I'm not going to upload it, even though the author of the video gave everybody permission to mirror it, reload it. So I'm going to ask you to mirror it, reload it, pass it around to all your social media, pass it out as good as you can. If you're not shadow blocked, then you'll be helping so many other people understand this. But if you don't resonate with the video, for goodness sakes, don't pass it around. Don't piss your friends off and have them think that you're kind of like wakening up. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that maybe a secret. Yeah, that's what's happening. Most people keep it to themselves. But I need a core group of people that will watch the video and will feel the unction to repost it and upload it and mirror it on their YouTube site, or at least send it out broadly as best they can. It's a well put together video. It explains things pretty clear, which, I mean, once your mind starts asking these questions, where did evil come from, you can't help but find out. And the story about it is like this guy said in that video, and I've heard it in many other ones. When this stuff comes to the disclosure, the full information impact hits the main media, the media source of truth and of disclosure, it will be the greatest story ever told.
Well, here is where things start to take a new turn. When the full picture comes to be known, it will forever be regarded as the greatest story ever told. Well, here is the top line. Some good people still held positions of power. They valued humanity and the rule of law. While the criminals discussed their game plan at the annual Bilderberg meetings, the good guys were making plans of their own. The information age was coming to change history forever. As the internet flooded into every home and appliances became smarter, and when people started carrying tracking devices, an opportunity to put an end to criminal control over the world was emerging. We became connected, trackable, and surveilled. But so did they. They became dependent, just like we did, on email, SMS, instant communication. It made crime much easier, but it also put them on a grid that, if accessed by the right people, would expose their crimes to the public and end their iron grip on us once and for all. In this new age of information, it was thought that the military should also have its own intelligence agency to focus on cybercrime and espionage. They called this the NSA, the National Security Agency. The relevance of the NSA in the story cannot be understated. Here we had every phone call, email, and text from every device stored and archived. Whether it be someone making a doctor's appointment or the deep state setting up a massive heroin purchase from the Taliban. In the right hands, it will be enough information to expose the entire sinister criminal plot to rob us blind and wipe us out. Hold that thought. Now I need to explain the plan.
Look, and the real truth of it will take years to really sink in, and the story will evolve, especially as we move into an era of bliss and peace. And I'm not saying utopia, I'm just saying that with the technologies that's been hidden from us, it'll change the world overnight, and we'll see that happen right in front of our eyes as the truth comes out. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Well, I seen this on the side of the road right down in the ditch part, and it's not hurt, it's not damaged. It's a bag that has some swim stuff like a mask and the flippers in it. So I'm gonna do what I seen other people do. I'm gonna hang it on that fence, and if the people that ride up and down this road are the ones that lost it, maybe it'll trigger in them when they see it, and that's what I've seen other people do. So I'm gonna do that. But this is where I'm at. That's that big old house right there. Look at that thing, ain't that? I remember when it was for sale, and yeah, I was wondering, it like a church on the inside, big open spaces and stuff. But the guy that owns that owns Pitbull Power Sports. Look how big this yard is here. These some big yards out here. All right, well, I'm gonna get on down the road, but I want that person to lost that. If they want it, they can get it. If they don't, then we'll see what happens to it. I guess that's part of it. I'm not condoning graffiti, but I'm just reading it, you know. So when the governments fear the people, there is liberty. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. Well, I don't condone graffiti, but that is an interesting message, because when the government believes that we're less than human beings of a spiritual nature inhabiting physical form, and they teach the population just the opposite, that they're poor, pitiful, miserable sinners and no redeeming value on the afterlife is given credence in this life, except if you follow the rules and you be really good people. Well, there's a whole lot of bad people doing a whole lot of bad things because they haven't been told the truth about who they are and what they are. So whoever who wrote this has a little bit of insight of awakening. But one of the biggest things is when disclosure comes, we got to forgive. We don't have to forget it, but we do have to forgive. And when the truth and disclosure comes out, people are going to be wanting to drag them in the streets and hang them and do all kinds of things, horrible ways of killing them. And that ain't right. That's not it. You're not getting the point about who you are, and in the big picture, who we all are, and why are we here, and what is this lesson to learn this time around. It's for each person in their own heart. But how many of us are there out there in this world anyway? I've been told it's very few of them that can truly awaken into Christ consciousness. But they are Christ conscious people. I've met them, I've seen them, I've been with them. They do miracles on a daily basis.
And technology to try and take back power. There are people at the top of the DOJ and FBI then put together a plan to frame Trump and have him impeached. This is where we come back to the NSA again. All messages were stored and could be used to expose this plot and prevent Trump's overthrow. An entire book will be written about the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. False flag terror attacks, downed planes, missile alerts, assassination attempts. Here is the point. The world is currently experiencing a dramatic covert war of biblical proportions. Literally the fight for Earth, between the forces of good and evil. I can't put it in simpler terms, but I can say it appears the good guys are winning. The cabal had complete control over North Korea. They hijacked the Kim dynasty, took them hostage, and worked to build up a nuclear arsenal to threaten the world. Kim Jong-un suddenly embracing peace was simply because the deep state were beaten and driven out. ISIS was also destroyed in the year following Trump's win. We are all starting to see the pattern now that enough time has passed, that our biggest global concerns are starting to recede, and peace is returning. It is all evidence that the good guys are winning the war.
Well, it looks like it's fixing to blow in rain. I checked the weather this morning before I left out, and it said that, I'm trying to get where the wind ain't blowing this thing. It said that it might start raining about 11 o'clock. Well, the wind is shifting. It was blowing out of the south, now it's blowing a little more out of the west. But, yeah, so I'm gonna call it in before I get rained on. I am increasing the month of July. I'm gonna try to, man, I can't tell which way the wind is. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more of my walking, my fast walk, and see how that does. All right.